doing okay? My name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Noir Apologia Gaming, and what we do here is we try to listen to you, try to listen to what your issues are, try to address them through these videos. So how much quality time do you think you have? Let's talk about how to create quality time for yourself. Not just time for yourself, quality time. Quality is better than quantity. What I mean is, I would rather have 5 minutes of alone time that I'm seriously contemplating on my life than 30 minutes to an hour of me just doing nothing and standing around and looking at the grass grow. And all of these things, I find it vital that you have to be able to contemplate on what you're doing. You cannot possibly think you're going to do this without thinking about it. It's just not possible. What you're going to find out about quality time can make all the difference between you making a rash decision or a correct one. Does that make sense? Define quality. Quality is exactly as it sounds. What are you doing in the time allotted to you or the time you've taken out while you're alone by yourself? Are you thinking about what your day is? Are you thinking about the future? Are you thinking about something that happened during the day? Or are you dwelling on the past? Are you thinking about drinking? The problem is quality to a lot of people is just being alone. To me, that's not what we're talking about here. To me, we're talking about using that time, analyzing in your head something or an event or whatever decision making you have, and you're using it and making that decision, and then you go do it. That's quality time. So that when you go into any situation, that you know exactly what you're doing when you do it. During that quality time that I'm talking about, ask questions of yourself, not just of others. Ask it of yourself. Am I doing this correctly? Could I have done that better? Could I do this little tweak over here? Could I do this? These videos, and when I get on here, they don't plan themselves out. Does that make sense? They don't. So ask questions of yourself. So all those things I just said are, you're trying to get inside your head and you're trying to figure out all the decisions that you have to make during the daytime and during the weeks and in the months, and all the information that's being gathered inside your head. It's rolling around in there maybe sometimes. See, I have sleeplessness. So I've learned how to use it, and that's where my quality time comes from. Not everybody does that. So it's not easy for everybody. My cousin, Chrissy Smith, she has 3 kids. And so her going and taking advice and then going with no distractions, it's very difficult for her. But she doesn't need long. She just needs quality. You said quality time, which is kind of what makes it quality time, to think, really think about everything. Think about what's going on in the daytime. Think about whatever problems you may have. When you do this, you'll be able to deep think, okay? When you really are able to do this. At first you might not be able to. Maybe you're too distracted. I mean, in the case of bipolar disorder, it's one of those things where sometimes we are very distractible players, as it were. So you try to create quality time. In my case, I have more quality time than a lot of other people because I don't have a job, not like that. This is my job. I'm trying to make this work. I have to think about, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? How to make the videos, how to get the information correct. And I have to have quality time for that. But I make that because I have a lot of time. But not a lot of people have that. So it's not about quantity. It's about the amount of time you're spending thinking and contemplating things you're either going to do or have done and maybe would do differently in the future. That's how you're going to get better. Downtime can be used for quality time. If that's the only time you have when you get home from work or whatever it is that you just came from, maybe college, school, whatever. I would say that probably morning time is the best. So downtime is, well, that's exactly what it is. You've already had your day and you're kind of decompressing. And so it's not the greatest time to do it, in my opinion. Maybe before you go to bed, I suppose. But in the morning time, before you've gotten into your day, I like to sit outside, for example, and I like to think about exactly what I'm going to do during the daytime now. And I try to go through scenarios and so forth and so on, so I'm prepared for the day, bad or good, it doesn't matter. I go through these scenarios, and so that it's kind of like I'm kind of going through a readiness test in my head. I think about how I may or may not react to things. Maybe something I'm scared of. Maybe I go through scenarios, But the morning times are the best for me personally, and I would suggest to you that I think the analytics say that it's kind of the best time to do it because you haven't started your day. Try to use your morning times, try to spend some time by yourself. Try to plan out your day that way. That way your weeks go by and then your months go by and then you have a good year, a good life, you know? I know it sounds simple, but it's not simple, but you know what I mean. Try and be alone when you do this. I know that's easier said than done, especially with people, with parents and so forth and so on. My cousin Christy Smith, she has a website and she deals with her son that's bipolar. So she's got 3 kids, and she doesn't have all the quality time in the world, but she tries to take out enough time allotted to her and try to use that time to write her blog posts and so on and so on. That's quality time. Quality time is not an excuse for isolation. And you may be able to trick people, but eventually they're going to figure out that you're not changing at all. That for all the time you may spend by yourself, you're not actually doing anything during that time. It'll become very obvious to people. Truth be told, that's going to be a lot of what happens at first, just because when you're going through these steps, you're going to have a lot of stuff rolling around in your head. And so it's overwhelming sometimes. You just want to be in silence. Learn how to be in silence once in a while with that quality time. It has to be quality, not quantity. Remember what I said? During downtime, you can have music on your ears. And I used to, I still do once in a while, just to kind of let me think about it. Gets me music kind of gets my juices flowing, as it were. And maybe that's what you need. I prefer nothing on my ears personally, but I'm not going to tell you don't have music. Now, one caveat to that is I would not have TV. I wouldn't use visuals and that kind of thing. It's different than just hearing something and kind of letting them go soak in the background. When you have visuals along with it, it kind of distracts you from your actual thinking, because you're either not watching the show or you're not thinking about what you need to think about. You're kind of going in between, in my view. So just kind of, put you on some headphones, listen to some music, and try to just think about what you're doing. When you take your quality time, be inspired. Use it to be inspired, to get inspired. That's how I'm able to do some of the things I'm able to do on these videos. Be inspired. Be inspired. Really, truly, by yourself and about what you possibly have in your head that you may want to do. Be inspired. During that quality time, be emotional if you must. Maybe that's the time you cry. Maybe that's the time you get emotional. You can't do it in front of other people. Maybe that's the time you're saddened. It's definitely time to pray if you're a Christian. That's definitely quality time, because you're spending your time with God. But even if you're an atheist, get emotional during that time. It's okay. Nobody's there to see it. It's supposed to be in isolation, right? Or not isolation. You're supposed to be by yourself during this stuff, mostly. It might even be a 15-minute break at work, and I'll think on it. Plan your actions ahead of time and then do. Just simply that. Plan your actions and then do. And whatever result happens is whatever result happens. And then maybe you try to think about that one, But like I said, and try to plan for that as well. Maybe the contingency plans in case something bad may happen. Are you preparing in case this bad thing happens? That kind of thing. But that's quality time. All this is quality time. All of it. Quality time is going to help you carry your fourth ingredient. It's going to help you take that advice, go out there with no distractions, and that's quality time. Period. End of story. Simple as that. It's not simple, but it is as simple as that. Carry your ingredients. Want to. Venting. Taking advice. No distractions. And knowing you're not alone. When you do that, your quality time will be well spent because you'll be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Doing the steps require you to have quality time. It's not possible to do them. You can't just, this isn't, that you're not doing this. This isn't, like I said, this is not building a cabinet. This is not willy-nilly. It's your life. And I care about your life. I would never tell you something that would harm you. So quality time required for the steps. I want you guys to have a great night. Please be understanding of one another and be understanding of one another's quality time. And don't be a distractible player yourself for that person. Let people alone and let them think about what maybe you've told them. Don't just continue to chatter in their ear. Be understanding, please. Please be safe to wherever you're going to be going to, from work, from school, whatever it is. Be safe in general and try to just be aware of your surroundings and all will be well. Don't drink and drive. Call an Uber or Lyft, please. The bartenders call them. Thank you. May the Lord of Light guide you in all things.